Today on Review This Thing, we're here at Camping World to take you on a feature review tour of the Coleman Lantern LT18FQ. This is Adrian.
And this is Robbie with Review This Thing. If you're looking for an RV that would be perfect for a couple or a small size family, then you might want to stay tuned for this tour.
A few weeks ago, we showed you a tour of the Coleman Lantern 17B. As you know, we're pretty new to this RV world, so whenever we saw this slightly larger 18FQ that had a few other features, we knew we wanted to take a tour.
If you have one of these RVs or another Coleman Lantern RV, comment below and let us know what you think. We're always interested in your experience and your thoughts.
So we're excited to take you on this tour. If you're ready, let's go.
The Coleman Lantern LT18FQ is 22 3/4 feet long, 8 feet wide, and just over 10 feet tall. It has a dry weight of around 4,000 pounds and a GVWR of 4840. It has a single axle frame and an aluminum exterior, and it works on a 30 amp shore power connection. MSRP is just shy of $29,000, but right now the selling price at Camping World, which in case you didn't know, you can only buy Coleman RVs at Camping World, is right at $26,000. As usual, we're going to start our tour on the outside. Up here at the front is a powered tongue jack. It has an LED light also, which makes it easier to hook up to your truck and set up at your campsite. You have one 20-pound propane tank up front and all your battery connections. And as with many of the RVs we've shown you, this one is solar prep, and the solar connections are right up here in the front as well.
Now we're going to move on around to this side. First, you're going to see our city water connection as well as our freshwater tank. And of course, here's where you're going to hook up to that 30 amp shore power that we talked about. Now, for one of the biggest features of this Lantern 18FQ, and that is this slide. We're going to show you a lot more about that when we get inside, but of course, this is your first look at it. One thing Coleman has started doing is they've started including a cover on their slides. This cover is nice because it rolls out, keeping things from getting on top of your slide, which then keeps them from going inside your camper whenever you move it back in. Also of note on the slide are these two really nice sized windows that obviously have screens. We've got them open right now, so when we go inside, it'll be nice and cool. And here we also have our gray and black tanks. The 18FQ has a 27-gallon freshwater tank as well as 28-gallon gray and black water tanks.
As we move to the rear, you'll see the square bumper, spare tire, and it's prepped for a backup camera. You can probably see it's curved on top to keep the elements off, as well as has little gutters on the side.
As we move to the entrance side of the RV, you're going to see here first we have a power rear leveling jack, and there's also one up front. We're going to move on down and you'll notice this very nice size, I believe it's a 10-foot power awning. That comes equipped with LED lights that makes it nice for kind of sitting out and enjoying your space. You're going to keep rain, snow, all that stuff off of you, but for me, the most important part is it provides shade. Here you're going to see their outdoor speakers that are going to connect to the sound system that I will show you inside in just a second. Here's our furnace vent, and then one thing I want to point out is this is a Furrion on-demand water heater. So you don't necessarily have to wait for your tank to heat up to be able to have hot water. Hopefully you're going to be able to take all the showers that you need without somebody having to wait their turn for it to get hot again. And of course you have your GFCI outlets, which are excellent for hooking up a TV or whatever it is out here that you want to use. Skip on over here with me and we're going to talk about this outdoor storage. It of course has latches and hooks, and it has our magnet door. Looking inside, you can see this is not pass-through storage, but it's a fair bit of space. If you look inside the storage space, you'll see that it's prepped for an inverter as well as being prepped for a tire pressure monitor. One thing that's kind of cool about that is it's not already part of the package, which keeps the initial price down. If it's not something you want, you don't have to pay for it, but it's ready if you actually do decide you want to add it later. And then we have our foldable stairs and our door that, of course, is equipped with a screen door option as well.
Okay, that's the outside, so you know the drill. Let's take a look inside. We're going to start by coming in and taking a left. The first thing you'll notice is this control panel. Basically it has your controls for interior and exterior lights, your water pump, as well as the slide and the on and in and out. Next, you'll see a fairly sizable countertop space, but I will say it's a little bit of a trade-off. All this countertop space means you have a little bit smaller of a sink, but it is equipped with a high-rise faucet. Then we have the 2-burner stove with a microwave overhead. Underneath the 2-burner stove is a storage drawer, and on the opposite side is more cabinet space. Overhead we have our stereo system and some more storage space. We'll round out the kitchen space with the 12-volt refrigerator freezer combo.
After the kitchen, we'll talk about one of my favorite parts of any RV that has one, and that's going to be our bathroom. It's not a super huge bathroom, but I'd say it's enough to get the job done. So you have your foot flush toilet here, and then you have a slightly elevated shower. I'm going to climb in so you can kind of take a look. So I do want to point out I'm 5'4", and you can see my head pretty much is kind of your limit of the ceiling. So if you're really tall, you might have to scrunch down a little bit to take your shower. Also, the shower head, you can see, is kind of right at me. So to get the top of my head, I'm going to have to pick it up and wash off. So just something to keep in mind. Obviously, with anything, there are trade-offs. If you want to make a compact, small, easy-to-tow RV, there's some things that are going to be a little bit smaller. Comes with a shower curtain. You do have a vent here, and there are 2 hooks here for your towels. Now, one thing you'll probably notice here is that there isn't a sink. So after you use the bathroom, you're going to have to come back out here and wash your hands in the kitchen sink. Over here beside the bathroom is where you're going to have your temperature controls. This unit does have a 13,500 BTU AC unit, as well as a furnace. But this is technically not a 4-season unit, so also keep that in mind if you're planning on taking it places that are super, super cold. And before we get to the slide side, I just want to point out this entertainment area. You've got your GFCI here, as well as a cable connection, a nice little shelf, and then a storage space there for whatever it is you might want to store there.
Now we get to one of the main draws of this RV. It's what they call a super slide. Rarely will you see an RV this compact in length with a slide this big. Obviously gives you a lot more floor space for just making it a whole lot easier to move around in here. I do want to point out that the flooring is vinyl, which is obviously going to be really easy to clean, as well as even vinyl flooring under the slide. In the slide, you have a dinette with a removable table that converts into a bed, as well as a jackknife couch. Now, this couch has a couple of really cool features. You can get some storage underneath. It obviously folds out into a bed, but not only is it a bed, but it also has elevating leg rests. There's LED lights overhead, both the dinette and the couch, big windows, and night shades to keep it cooler as well as darker at night.
And now we're going to finish off our tour of the Coleman Lantern 18FQ with the bedroom. So this does come with a queen bed. And here's where I'd say there's another trade-off, because in order to keep this compact length, this mattress actually lays left to right, you can see, instead of north to south. So if 2 people are sleeping in it, the person who's sleeping on the back has to go to the bathroom, or they're ready to get up for the morning, they're going to have to kind of climb over the other person to get up, which of course just kind of depends on how you feel about that. There are windows on either side of the bed, which I always think is nice because you can kind of check out the weather. If it's raining, you can always go back to bed. There are night shades on those windows as well, making it where even if the campsite or the campground's really lit up, you should be able to sleep fairly decently. I do want to point out here, there's some overhead speakers that connect to that sound system that Robbie showed you earlier. There's storage space overhead, as well as a couple of lights. And there is this nice shelving unit that has kind of an extra stand with storage there. And it also has plugs, as well as 2 USB ports. And you know what that's for. Obviously, that's for charging your phones. And there you have our complete feature review tour of the Coleman Lantern 18FQ.
We appreciate you coming along and hope that you found it helpful. Again, if you have this RV, comment below and let us know what you think.
If you have any questions, comment below and we'll do our best to answer them, but probably the better option is to reach out to your local Camping World and they would be happy to help you. As always, thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching our Coleman Lantern LT18FQ complete feature review tour. While you're here, watch a whole bunch of our other videos. We have all kinds of content you're absolutely going to love. Check out our website, reviewthisthingtv.com. If you like our video, give us that thumbs up, share it with your friends, comment below, and subscribe. Also, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok.